Okay, so maybe I lied a little bit. I only 99%ed Ore Factory Squad. We're gonna go over and rate Ore Factory Squad based on 5 factors: atmosphere, mechanics, quality of life, addiction level, and value for money. All of these are gonna be rated A to D and F for complete failure. Atmosphere. I really like that the sound effects changed based on the coverage of the mine you're in. So if you have like an open air, it sounds regular, and if you're inside the mine, there's a simple like echo-ish effect, but it works pretty well. The sound design as a whole was enough to get the job done, but I also play with the music off, so I can't comment on that part. The game also feels very solidly, maybe too realistic in the early game, for me at least. You do have the ability to travel around the town and stop at a few shops, which helps get you immersed in the game, and when you're digging, you actually feel like you're a pretend professional digging in your own backyard, which is great. For atmosphere, Ore Factory Squad gets a B. Mechanics. So the game systems sound overly complex at first, but once you start playing, it flows very nicely. One thing I did have a problem with here is that sometimes it feels like there's an inconsistency in the systems. So for example, you buy factory equipment from your laptop, but when you want to buy a purveyor belt, it comes from the Q item wheel, which it really didn't make sense to me. Why are they in different places? So I also didn't see anything that mentioned that these were in different places, which maybe I missed, but yeah, it kind of threw me off that they were in different locations. Eventually it did make sense to me why the devs separated them, but I still find it a bit unintuitive. In the end though, it's a sim game. If you don't like Sims, you're not going to enjoy this game. Think of this as strip mining in Minecraft. If you don't enjoy that, you won't enjoy this. It does have a bit of a automation layer, but the game is a sim game first and foremost. So for mechanics, Ore Factory Squad gets a C-. Quality of life. Unfortunately, I'm constantly pressing the wrong buttons to swap items. Again, it's a bit unintuitive. Most games use the scroll wheel to swap items or rotate buildings, which is not the case here. When starting the game off, the tutorial works well, but after that you kind of get left alone. For one, there was no mention of how to get the pickaxe when you unlock it. There's a locked symbol next to it, so I thought it was automatically allocated once you unlock it, but it's not. You have to buy it. Okay, that's not a problem. So I go to the shop and there's nothing there. There's no equipment there. There's only like factory machines. So after searching for quite a while, I found that it's in the upgrades tab. Again, like, I don't get it. I don't know why the pickaxe itself is in the upgrades tab. The upgrades for the pickaxe obviously belong there, but the base item should be in the shop to make it a little bit more intuitive. Another letdown for me was that you can't own multiple properties at once. You have to remove, not sell, the property you're currently mining on and then buy a new one. So with all this, Ore Factory Squad gets a D+ for quality of life. Addiction level. Initially, I found the game to be very addictive, but the automation kicked in very slowly and late for me. Before the automation kicked in, I did begin to get a little bit bored, but once the automation started, the game picked up again for a while, and then slowed down and then picked up. So considering that, for addiction level, I give Ore Factory Squad a C. Value for money. It's a solid game to play for a weekend and beat. I don't see much replayability in the game at the moment, but the devs have released a roadmap to get to version 2.0. So hopefully that fixes some issues and improves the game from the solid base it has. I personally just want to see a bit more pace, like maybe like 10% faster would have prevented me from feeling the boredom come on, as I mentioned earlier. The game also took me about 18 hours to complete, so at $13, that's about 70 cents per entertainment hour. With no replayability in my view, that's about the total value it brings. My recommendation for this game is to wishlist it. If it appeals to you, I would say try and buy it under $10 and ideally close to $7 if it ever drops that low. With that, Ore Factory Squad gets a C+ for value for money. I do want to bring up the roadmap one more time. I did have a lot of other issues that I didn't mention in the review, but it seems like the devs are actively working on it. So for example, they're working on smart filters. So I just wanted to give them credit for continuing the development of the game and addressing issues quickly after release.